What's up, everybody? Then, now, forever together. And we are rocking and rolling for NXT this week. I am your host, Marked by Wrestling. Thank you so much for being here. And we are on the road to Battleground in Tampa this month. And we've got Julia versus Jordan Grace tonight. And we've got a 25-man battle royal. The winner will be the number one contender for the NXT Championship with Obafemi. As we see Javon Evans reaching the ring. And we've also got an interesting six-man tag tonight as well, because Joe Hendry, the TNA champion, is going to be teaming with the NXT tag champions Hank and Tank to take on DARKSTATE. And we see a lot of people reaching the parking lot at the same time. We see the Culling and No Quarter Catch crew, Wesley and Tyreek and Tyson. So there's going to be a lot of bodies in the ring at the same time. Welcome, everybody. George, good to see you. Hey, man, we're here to enjoy NXT. I'm going to show off a couple of things tonight. We're going to talk releases some during the commercial breaks, too. Pretty Richie in the house. You're good to see you, Richie. Thanks for being here, man. And we getting things cracking right off the bat. People are happy to be in the house. And we are starting off with the six-man tag. Tag champions are coming out. Hank and Tank. We have got Hank and Tank, and say his name and he'll appear. TNA champion Joe Hendry versus three members of DARKSTATE. That's going to be an interesting matchup, because that is a lot of momentum meeting in the ring. So we'll see what happens. I think I saw somebody with a Fuji Vice t-shirt in the crowd. That is so wild. Richie, me too, man. I'm so happy for Hank and Tank. Once I started doing the NXT watch-alongs, that's, when I first really saw Hank and Tank. Did not think much of them at the beginning, but man, they won me over. And these guys, I wouldn't say they're all heart, because that takes away from their ability, but they're a lot of heart. And they're improving each and every week. Okay, here comes Joe. Cameraman was not fully on focus coming in to get on Joe's face there. He had one job, Joe. Cameraman, we all know Stu wouldn't have done that. I'll tell you that. But yeah, right on cue, the NXT audience is singing along with Joe Hendry. And yeah. Sophie Duffy, good to see you. Anthony, good to see you, my friend. Justin, yes. Justin Hallen Crane, welcome to the chat. Yes, first match is up. So Joe Hendry and Hank and Tank versus DARKSTATE is our first match of the evening. We're pretty loaded up. We've got Kalani Jordan and Zarya, which I think could be a show stealer. Those two, these two sort of contrasting styles, could make for an interesting match tonight. We've got the Battle Royal. We've got Jordan Grace and Julia. So it'll be what it is, Oh, Hank and Tank doing the pose with Joe. Love it. No RKOs in sight. Be thankful, Joe. Pretty Richie, not a big Hendry guy. That's okay. You know what? Joe Hendry he's similar to Jey Uso in that he's like really, really over. And his overness is an acquired taste for some people. And I don't judge anybody who doesn't get into a certain performer for whatever reason. We all resonate with certain ones, but it's different. That's different from saying, oh, this guy sucks or he doesn't bring anything to the table when the crowd clearly disagrees. All right, DARKSTATE enters in through the aisleway, and they're just jumping right away. For the second match in a row, it feels like Shaquan is not Saquon Sugars is not active in the match. And for what it's worth, I think he's got the most upside out of all four of them. So I'm curious about that. But yeah, start dropping your predictions. And there, George, I heard you say you were rooting for Hank and Tank and Joe Hendry. Mod Father in the house. So how's it going? Greetings to the one true Mod Father. Hope all is well. Thank you so much Teflon Don. I'm glad you were here, and we're glad to get going here with NXT. All right, Justin's calling for Dark State. I think that's a safe bet. They haven't really dropped much yet. I mean, this, the tag champions and another company's world champion would be no shame in losing that match, but we'll see what happens. They still have that numbers advantage, though. Little misdirection there by Hank and Tank coming off the ropes at the same time. Pretty neat. Pretty Richie is Dark State guys from LFG. So, no. Dark State, they were... they'd been like NIL guys. They just never debuted on the NXT roster. It's so hard to keep track between LFG, Evolve, their NIL signings, and all that stuff on who's who. But I'm pretty sure I'm 99% sure Dark State did not come from LFG, because The Undertaker teased his LFG guys against Obafemi backstage last week. So, yeah. So we go. Sophia, I see you're asking a few questions. One of Dark State is from LFG. Yeah. Dion Lennox, is he the guy? He's not the guy who's dating Maxine, is he? Or is that another guy? But yeah, Saquon, I don't think Saquon was from LFG. He might have been signed, but never really debuted on NXT until this. But yeah, I think whoever mentioned about Dion. Oh, that's another guy. Okay. That's another guy who dates Maxine. Gotcha. Okay. George, pretty sure that Gigi and Cora and Dakota could go to TNA. I think, yeah. I think they'll all have landing places. I'll let you know about my feelings about the releases once we hit a commercial break, or when we go picture in picture. Either way, once the commentary dies down, and we'll do that. Okay. Honk honk. Meeting in the middle. Man, fall away slam from Joe Hendry. And the crowd's hot for the good guys. Joe getting a little too psyched. Oh, here we go. Triple pose. Edge and Christian should be proud. They for the benefit of those with flash photography. And my audio is just cut out. Don't tell me. Oh, we believe chance. Okay, I was about to say, was that about to get a holy chant? That would be funny. All right. Let me see. Get this going. Okay, catching up with you guys now. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is because we even saw Indy Hartwell go to TNA. I wonder, there's a lot of dancing around in this match from the good guys, which Dark State has been made a threat so far. So I'm just curious if that's going to backfire on them. Nevertheless, with this partnership with TNA and NXT specifically, I am curious. Dude, crowd is alive for this match. Lots of hand motions, lots of chanting. Just lots of sports entertainment pops for this match. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see some return crossover from ex-WWE current TNA talent. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Tank, man. I feel like Tank's gonna be a star one day. I know it's gonna be crazy. If Dark State wins, Justin, who's going to take the pin? I think it would be Hank. I think Tank is slowly becoming he's positioned to be the breakout out of the two of those guys. And they already had Joe Hendry take the pin at WrestleMania. I don't know. Teflon Don, thank you for the love, man. Steven, I'm so proud of you on how your channel has grown. Keep up the good work, my fan. Road to 10K. Like I said at the beginning, I'm riding with you. Thank you, man. Listen, I'm here for all you guys. Thank you so much for the love and for the views. And, we are just working our way up. And, getting to do this every week and the more and more times during the week I'm doing this kind of stuff, I am blessed to be a part of this. And this is something ever since, I was this little could have, dreamed of getting to talk about my passion. Everybody I think would love to do some kind of work where they get to talk about their favorite things all day long, and I mean, it's just, it's a blessing just to even get to mess around with this. And it's just so much icing on top of the cake that you guys are a part of this community and make this every week so fun. So I thank you guys so much for that. All right. Some background here, some history here, guys, from T-Man. By the way, T-Man, if I didn't say hi, welcome to the chat tonight, man. Dion was getting a tiny push at NXT. So at some point, DARKSTATE is a whole complete 380 from this old character. Interesting. I think he meant 180. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Oh, there it is. Saquon Sugars pushing Hank off the top rope. That is going to turn the tide in this match. Anthony Luke, that is the dude dating Maxine, I believe. Yes. Thank you, Anthony. And yeah, Dion in control now. Dion Lennox, Osiris Griffin, and Cutler James from DARKSTATE representing the 6-man tonight. Justin wants to know, how'd you feel about the Jay versus Seth match last night? I thought that match was beautiful from top to bottom. Really excited about the Omaha crowd last night. They, we don't talk about it a lot, but the crowd, I don't want to say has a job, but the crowd has some level of responsibility in the show every week. They can make or break a show with how they respond to things. And sometimes how they respond to things is based on the quality of work that they're getting. And sometimes it's just based on their whims, And I loved the crowd in Omaha last night. They made that match even more exciting than it was. I think WWE and Jay in particular have done a really good job of leveraging the doubt people have in Jay's abilities to make it seem like he had no chance of beating Seth. So when he kept surviving shot after shot last night, it just increased the drama. And then eventually CM Punk showing up and, causing the no contest and stuff. I think that was fine because you didn't want a title change right away, which would kill Jay. And honestly, Jay beating Seth, I don't say it would kill Seth and Heyman and Braun, but it really wouldn't have done them any favors this soon. So I think it was the right call. And the only thing I would have liked to see differently, and this is such a minor criticism, is that as the show was going off the air, they should have played Jay's music instead of Punk's music. And that, to me, is just because he's the champion. And how you celebrate going off the air is a nonverbal communication in a way of who's most important on screen. And I'm not saying that Punk's not important. He certainly is. But you had a real opportunity to tell people how important Jay was, and you didn't do that. But that's okay. It's not the worst thing. All right, let me catch back up here again. Let's see. How do I feel about Jay versus Logan not happening at Backlash? I don't mind. I don't mind that at all because they're about to come up to a real tight schedule here. In the next 3 to 4 weeks, they're going to be not just including Raw and SmackDown and NXT. They're going to be having Saturday night's main event, Battleground, Money in the Bank, the NXT Worlds Collide show. There's going to be a lot of big shows coming up. So Backlash, and including Backlash. So Jay and Logan didn't need to be at Backlash. They could wrestle on Saturday night's main event. And also, I don't know if you guys saw this, but WWE aired on their social media as Tank is just going to town, diving on the outside, taking out 2 members of DARKSTATE, coming back in with Dion one-on-one, He's going to try to finish him off mano a mano. Bubba bomb. Okay. But no. Saved by DARKSTATE. Yeah, I think so. On WWE's socials, they showed that Logan showed up after the show went off the air and knocked out Jay at ringside by sneak attack. So they're not done. I think I could see them headlining Saturday night's main event, or they could. I mean, they could wrestle at Money in the Bank, but I figured Logan would be a good candidate to be the Money in the Bank holder. I don't want him to win, but having him as a threat. Oh, whoa, who's coming in? Trick Williams is here. Trick Williams is here. Oh, that Trick Williams coming to mess with Joe Hendry. Wow. And now they're taking the fight to the back. Well, Hank and Tank are outnumbered now, 4-2. Oh, no. Chop block on Tank. They are circling the wagons on Tank. This is going to be it. They've got him for that alley-oop power bomb. This is going to be it. Cutler with the cover. 1, 2. That's going to be that. DARKSTATE wins via Trick Williams interference indirectly. And where was Hank? I guess Hank's still on the outside. But there it is. All right. Let's see. Sophie wants to ask, when do you see them start to build Both Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, which are both happening in one day? Good question. So Money in the Bank is June 7th, and Saturday night's main event is the weekend before. And that is going to be, 2 weeks from now? So I imagine if they wanted to do qualifying matches for the ladder match, they could start that as soon as next week. Oh, we have Thea Hale and Carmen Petrovich talking backstage. Newly single Carmen Petrovich on screen. Here's Jada Parker.
He wasn't the only thing holding you back. You're just too damn soft. Okay, we're done with this. You're just running your mouth because Miss Parker had an amazing opportunity at Stand Deliver and chose. So what happened, Jada? I thought you don't play. I don't. But I'm spreading on tonight in the friend. Since you want to act all wrong.
We're going to have Carmen Petrovich and Jada Parker one-on-one tonight, too. Man, I thought this card was already full. That's crazy. Oh, we got two of Undertaker's LFG guys here. And they're going to be a part of the Battle Royal tonight. And two Evolve guys here as well. I'm going to be awful at the names in this Battle Royal because they are bringing people from Evolve, from LFG, all this other stuff. I'd be curious if they go with a shocker, if they have a winner of the Battle Royal. I mean, it seems custom made for Trick as Kalani Jordan is making her entrance. It might seem custom made for Trick to win, but at the same time, he's just put his nose in Joe Hendry's business. I wonder if Joe Hendry comes back out and gives him a receipt. So we'll see in here. George, am I doing a watch along for NXT Battleground? Absolutely, I will. NXT is the coalition's home. Marked by Wrestling is the coalition's home for NXT watch alongs. So we'll definitely be doing Battleground. Thank you for asking. We'll make time for that as well. So the Worlds Collide show. I have not actually thought about that yet. But I might. I'll see how it goes, see how the schedule goes, because I'll definitely be watching Money in the Bank later that day too, and making sure I have the availability for that. But yeah, it's on the calendar, so we'll try to make that one happen. Definitely Battleground. We'll see about Worlds Collide, see how that goes. Justin wants to know what Backlash match are you looking forward to the most? Oh, that's a good question, man. I don't know. it's not that none of them excite me. But the thing about Backlash, and this is going to sound like a criticism, and I don't mean it because I'm still going to watch it, and I think it's still going to deliver. It's just Backlash might be like the least hyped PLE all year long because so much of it is either a retread of WrestleMania or like a filler feud for until SummerSlam or until Money in the Bank or something like that. So I don't really know what match I'm most looking forward to. Probably, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but they did a lot on Monday, last night, to get me excited for it. I'm kind of interested in seeing Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. I'm curious to see what comes of that match and where the story goes from there. In ring, the U.S. title match, I don't think, I feel like the ending is probably a foregone conclusion in the U.S. title match, but I still think it'll be really good. And so, in that regard, I think it'll be exciting, hard-hitting, entertaining. So I am looking forward to that. All right, let's see. Sophie said Jay versus Seth was awesome. I thought they'd make Seth win and AMB would freak out worse than Jay. I did not want to see Seth win either, man. I'm glad he didn't. I mean, he's certainly poised for a title run with the way that he's on this run with Paul Heyman with him, with Braun Breaker as his muscle. But not yet. Just not yet. Well, yeah, I saw Logan Paul. Yeah, we talked about that. They didn't announce Logan and Jay for Backlash. I think they're just gonna have this play out. They're gonna wait for that one because they've got a lot of matches like in the wings they can go with, and they don't need to throw them all out at once. All right, let's see. Pretty Richie says Triple H is booking Jay's world title run, kind of like how Vince did his. I'm noticing. Granted, he was a heel, but he was world champ, but didn't feel the most important because of Rock and Austin. Yeah, Richie, you've got a point there. I'm reminded of how well the ones I think of because of when I came up and when I was, I don't want to say most into wrestling, but I think about like Chris Benoit's world title reign, CM Punk's first world title reign, the first one where he cashed in on Edge, and even Kofi to an extent. Some of these guys who had really exciting title win moments being treated like an afterthought sometimes. But I think out of everybody we just mentioned, I think Jay is getting the fairest shot to be a main event player on his own show because Gunther is now dealing with Pat McAfee. Seth obviously is sort of the A figure. It almost feels like Jay is kind of doing not exactly, but to a degree is reminiscent of what Io Sky did on the road to WrestleMania. Like she's like, I'm the champion, and she like forced her way into the middle of the picture. And so Seth has beef with Roman and Punk and all this other stuff. But then when he ran afoul of Sammy, he ran afoul of Jay. And I wish they had said that a little more explicitly last night when Jay called him out to be like, oh, I'm not here because you betrayed Roman. I'm here because you betrayed Sammy. Because they seem to be tighter than that. But nevertheless, I see what you're saying. He is not being treated like the overall top guy. The world title scenes in all wrestling are kind of all of WWE are a little tricky right now. Honestly, I think Io Sky is getting the best credit right now as a world champion. Tiffany seems to be, for me, she's treading water a little bit. Cena just shows up when he wants to. We just talked about Jay, but Io shows up, says I'm the champ, do something about it, and then she puts you down. Which, I mean, what else can you say? So, no quarter catch crew here backstage. See what they got to say, getting hyped up for this battle royal, probably. Justin asking how many IC title defenses did Jay have before he lost it? Not many. I think maybe 2 tops. He did not have a lot. T-Man says Jada needs to be champ soon. I agree. I think I didn't get to talk about the releases yet in this current commercial break. Maybe in the next one. But I think she should have an opportunity soon. Sophie, not surprised. Ren Sinclair, you heard that right, Miles? Come on, man. All right. All right. We'll see what they got. Surprised we're not getting a King and Queen of the Ring PLE this year. Yeah. I'm surprised we're at least not getting an event. I understand why we're not going back to Saudi Arabia, because they're going to get the Royal Rumble next year. So clearly they're giving up, because I already saw they're giving up Crown Jewel to Australia. So I don't know, but we await Zarya's entrance now. Zarya with that Walking Dead entrance coming through the dystopian empty city, right through the NXT logo, and down the aisle she comes. Yeah, they are really taking their time with Jada for sure. Yeah, Timothy Thatcher back in NXT. Let's see. And now Sol Ruka out here with her, the North American champion, here to accompany her partner, Zarya. So Zarya and Kalani, who do you guys have? Who do you guys have for this match? Hold up. Let's let Justin cook for a second. They should put Timothy Thatcher and Gunther and Ilya together as a faction. That would be some nasty work, man. I tell you, that'd be some nasty work. Here's the thing, Sophie. I don't see Jay as a filler champ. I think who he loses the title to and when will determine if he's a filler champion. I think they have an easy opportunity to legitimize Jay as the main eventer by just letting him keep the title till SummerSlam. And he can lose it to Seth at SummerSlam. He can be outnumbered. He could try to have Sami Zayn have his back and have it backfire. You know, it could be any number of things. By the way, I'm picking Zarya for this match. However, yeah, I don't think he's a filler champion. He may not go down in the annals of history as one of the best world champions there was, but I think they are committed to legitimizing him, and I think we'll see that play out. I think by SummerSlam he's no longer champion, but yeah, for now I think he can get away with. I think he can beat Logan Paul believably, and maybe one more TV match somewhere while Seth is kind of like stalking him in the wings, and Seth earns a title match at Money in the Bank or something. That's just how I would see it. Okay. Catching up a little bit more as Zarya is just showing her power on Kalani this whole time. Who do I think John Cena's final opponent will be? Well, I would have thought Randy would have been a good choice, to be honest. But man, I'm not really loving the way Cena's retirement tour is going. It's pretty underwhelming to me. And if they're going to have Cena holding the title for a while, I would just have his last opponent be, I know some people are going to hate this. I don't, though. I would just have his last opponent be Cody in a rematch. Have him drop the belt back to Cody. That's what I would do. All right, let's see. Yeah, our schedule has been kind of weird. This PLE schedule this year has been different. You can definitely point to the delay of WrestleMania having a role in that. But post WrestleMania has always been a little bit rushed. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, Jay deserves credit. Jay has gotten over on his own, and he has ridden that wave, and he has had some legitimacy in how he beat Gunther at WrestleMania. He hung with Seth Rollins, did not get, outworked in that match, would not go down. So yeah, I think he's earned a right to at least make it SummerSlam as champion. And he could lose to somebody there. So yeah, if they had WrestleMania earlier in April like they normally do, we'd have an additional couple of weeks. We'd have an additional couple of weeks before Backlash, but not this time. All right. If you're just joining us now, Kalani Jordan and Zarya going one-on-one in singles competition here on NXT. We saw the show open with DARKSTATE defeating Joe Hendry and Hank and Tank due to interference from Trick Williams, who distracted Joe Hendry at ringside, and DARKSTATE capitalized on Tank. This match is kind of surprisingly hard-hitting. Kalani is definitely keeping it snug out there. Yeah, I see Justin Dawsey. Yeah, Cena's last opponent could be Punk. I think the thing is with Cena is that I don't know, like with Cena, how do I say this? Like I think a lot of us are really really want that nostalgia factor back and want to take advantage of this being his last year to see him kind of play his greatest hits one more time. But Cena's old, man. I mean, and I hate to say that, but like he just seeing Cena and Punk one more time. I think Cena and Punk is probably the best rematch of Cena's storied career that we could probably get out of this, where both guys could find a way to put on a show. I'm nervous about how Cena and Orton will be compatible all these years later in the ring. I feel like it's going to be another slow-paced match. So yeah, I don't know. Just not super excited about Cena's run at this point, at least the way they've been doing it. So, Pretty Richard's got this to say. He said, if John wanted this to work in terms of presentation aesthetic standpoint, he'd get rid of the colored shirts. He should just have a black shirt with his name on it, just like his Titantron. 100%. 100%. I could not agree with you more, Pretty Richie. And so this is part of why I don't like this run. It's not because he beat Cody at Mania, although, I didn't prefer that. It's not what I wanted to see happen. But this whole MO of you get nothing, but they're still selling the city-specific merch, city-specific T-shirts, hats, wristbands, title belts, all this other stuff, like the Get Your John Cena Farewell Tour commemorative cup kind of stuff, is so in it's just so in contrast or in conflict with who he says he is in the ring. And yeah, his Titantron change was brilliant. I wish his t-shirt would be just like that, because here's the thing, they could still sell that t-shirt. And I'm telling you, man, if you sold a plain black t-shirt that just said John Cena and white boring type, it would sell like Austin 3. Well, probably wouldn't sell like Austin 316. Probably wouldn't sell like the NWO, but it would sell a lot. So that way you could still sell it, but it looking bland on purpose is like that's what he should be doing. And not this whole, and like, I don't know, there's some people online who are like, the match was bad because that's his gimmick. And I'm like, no, his gimmick is not bad wrestling. His gimmick is ruining wrestling, which means giving you an outcome you don't want, which is him saying him taking the title and leaving and stuff. That no one in WWE is stupid enough to think that a gimmick of we're going to intentionally sabotage our main event of our largest event of the year when our prices have never been higher for story like that. That's just bad business, and they want to be good business before they're playing 4D chess with their stories, and they always will. So yeah, that I don't believe that angle to it, but yeah, Pretty Richie, 100% nail on the head. Sophie, you're right. I mean, R-Truth is an interesting feature to this story. I don't know at one point he's going to get involved to the point where something's going to happen to him. I don't know, but I'm curious how that's going to go. Good. We see Roman and Cena one more time. Well, I would have thought so, but Roman is tied up right now. I don't. Oh, wow. Zarya, man, with the chokehold way off her feet, way off Kalani's feet. I think if Roman and Cena cross paths again, it'll be in the second half of the year. I don't think there's time or logic time to get those two across from each other in the ring without it not making any sense or feeling forced. So probably closer to the second half of the year, like Survivor Series, that kind of stuff, maybe. But also, Roman and Cena, I know they had that sort of iconic promo segment because Roman lost his lines, but I've never thought of Roman and Cena as like iconic rivals. When I think about iconic rivals of Cena, I think about Orton, I think about Punk. I think about Seth more than I think about Roman. Who else? I mean, there are others, but those are people that aren't in WWE, like Edge. But yeah, I mean, who knows if it would be nutty if Brock somehow came back before the end of the year. But yeah, I think a rematch with Cody is in there somewhere. Batista, yeah, Batista too. I don't know that Batista's coming back at this point though. Man, a 450 that she flipped, that Kalani flips out of. Man, that was a good spear by Zarya. Kalani took that well. Oh wow, kick out at 2.9. Did not expect that from Kalani. Kalani will not die. Man, oh man. You know, Kalani Jordan is growing on me too. You know, she doesn't have a lot of. I don't. I don't know what that was. Neither did Vic Joseph. He couldn't give it a name. She seems very ring competent. I don't see a ton of like signature offense from her and stuff yet that I'm fully behind, but she seems to have good ring instincts from what I've seen so far. I like that about her. Also like her better as a heel too. Let's see. Yeah, so who knows what the remainder of the year comes up. I do think once we get past Money in the Bank, we'll have a lot more clarity what the middle and next quarter of the year is going to look like. But right now, I think we are in a bit of a holding pattern. I hope that they use Saturday night's main event to build a little more into what's going on. We'll see. Masai Moonsault. Oh man, she jumps so far she almost misses Arya completely. Looks like she caught her with a little bit of a clothesline there at the end. Okay. Pushes Kalani into Soul. Kalani and Soul just kind of staring at each other. I don't know what that was about. It looked like they were having a little bit of a moment. I don't know what to think, but like Soul Ruka lately seems to be making like cute eyes at a lot of different women in these matches lately. Zarya comes back in with the F5 and handles business, and that's that. But I don't know what we're doing here with Sol Ruka's affections. But Sol Ruka comes in the ring to celebrate with Zarya. Oh, and they're hugging it out. All right, and that is that. Advertising now about Crown Jewel leaving Saudi Arabia and going to Australia for a 3-day experience. Yeah, Sol and Zarya is interesting. Who asked? Sophie. Do you think Oba might be called up after SummerSlam? I think Oba's ready. I think Trick is ready. Javon could be ready, but I don't want him to come up yet. I think he deserves a little more shine in NXT without those two guys hanging around. But I think Oba's ready to go whenever they're going to call him up. It's just I hope they don't try to get into a habit of calling people up without a plan like they've done a lot. Tony D'Angelo backstage. Here comes Wesley and Tyson and Tyreek. By the way, this is how you can support the channel tonight as we are growing to super chat status while Wesley and Tony D'Angelo were talking smack to each other. Here comes Trick. Joe nowhere to be seen. Oh, they're playing his music. So is it Battle Royal time already? Let's go. Whoop that Trick. Booker having a good time. All right. Listen, I'm a sucker for Battle Royals. Battle Royals are kind of like NASCAR races, and forgive me if you're a baller, but NBA games where sometimes you can tune out, but the last 2 minutes are always fire. So, yeah, interested to see where this goes. And they've got Trick coming out first. So I got to imagine everybody else comes out. This is like reverse entry. I guess everybody comes out during the commercial break. Sophie brings up an interesting point. When Trick gets called up, that means no more Booker T commentary. Same goes for Stephanie Vaquera, by the way. So there's that. All right. Let me try to get this out quickly. So there have been a slew of releases. I know I wasn't in the chat with A&B Combos last Friday for the discussion when that news hit. Man, I hate that these news, these releases begin to break right before a show day. You could even see on the replay, like Damian Priest looking red in the eyes. Because, Caden Carter was a very, very close friend of his. For her to be out is I'm sure impacted him, So let's just run through these real quick. And I'll try to make a couple of notes because I haven't really spoken about my thoughts on these things. So we lost, let's see, Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Caden Carter, and Katana Chance, Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, Wolfgang Joe Coffey, and Mark Coffey Gallus, Eddie Thorpe, Riley Osborne, Jakara Jackson, and Oro Mensah of Metaphor, Javier Bernal, Danny Palmer, and it was also reported that Shotzi Blackheart's contract was not renewed. Here's the thing. It's never really a celebratory event when someone loses their job who, wasn't being a weirdo or making the place a hostile work environment. It's okay to mourn that stuff, but there's also a bit of an outrage culture online among wrestling fans where people never talk about 90% of these names ever and then get all up in arms. Kind of like toddlers. Like, I don't know, toddlers might be a little infantilizing, no pun intended. But as a parent, grow with my kids are almost all grown now. But as my kids were growing up and we'd have to throw away some of their toys that they hadn't touched in years, they pitch a fit. They're like, no, I love that. I need that. And I'm like, you never play with it. You didn't even remember. Some of my kids are like, in the same breath said, I forgot I had that. And that's no way. No, I do believe almost none of these people want to live their professional life as an afterthought, because the wrestling industry is something where everybody does want to be John Cena. Everybody does want to be Cody Rhodes. Everybody does want to be Io Sky or Rhea Ripley. They want to be Bianca Belair. They want to be front and center in this stuff, And if they're not being front and center, kudos to CM Punk, who by his words anyways, 10 years ago when he was a much more bitter man, said to Vince McMahon, if you're not going to feature me, then cut me, because I will go do that somewhere else. I don't want to be pushed to the back burner. I want an opportunity to prove to you that I am worth, that I can make you money. So take a shot on me. I will prove you right, prove you wrong, whatever. And so I think a lot of these talent deep down want to do that, right? And they're forgotten about. And fans don't need to get up in arms when they're let go. Like, it's one thing to be sad about it. I mean, I was sad to hear about Dakota Kai. I was honestly most, out of the women, I was most sad about Jakara Jackson, because I think she's got a ton of upside that hasn't even been realized yet. And Gigi Dolan too. I wanted to see more from her, but I think both of them can thrive somewhere else. And there's probably in this list, there might be one or two Drew McIntyres in there. And you know what I mean when I say that. If somebody who got cut, went out, got more over, and came back as a higher tier performer. I will say the only one that I felt as we return back, we have Stephanie Vaquer talking with Lola Vice, who has gotten her hair done. I got a bigger thought about Braun Strowman in a second, though. No pun intended.
No matter what happens on Battleground, I will be waiting on the other side for my opportunity.
Lola's trying to call next after Battleground. Julia's here. Julia's already calling her shot, saying she's going to see her at Battleground. All right, so Battle Royal is filling up. Now, here's the thing about Braun Strowman. I was the most, I don't want to call it upset, but I was the most felt some kind of way about Braun Strowman, because when he came back, that dude did whatever they asked him to do this time around. You could see that his knees were giving out on him week after week. And I understand why he got released, but that dude made a star out of Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu in his most recent run. And listen, you won't have to convince me that both of those guys have what it takes, but you've got to come around and agree with me that being able to kill a giant like both of those guys did a huge service to those guys' development and being brought up as legitimate monsters and monster killers. So for that, I wish they could have, I don't know. I don't know, give Braun a bonus on his way out. I don't know. And maybe they did, who knows? But I wanted something better, something a little less unceremonious for Braun Strowman, because that dude arguably did some of his most important work this last run. Is that who I think it is? Elias is in the house. Or are they going to call him Elijah, I guess? I just heard that guitar. Elijah is in the house, guys. It's time to start walking. But NXT still calling him Elias. Man, it's good to see him back in a WWE ring. NXT, walk with me. Oh, man, I miss him. Dude, one of the most important things about an entrance song, welcome home chants. You love to see it. One of the one of the most important things you can do in entrance is that opening note. And Elijah, Elias, one of the best ones. Well, NXT crowds are fast learners. They've switched to Elijah. Okay, so Elijah is here. Ethan Page not happy to see it. Well, people are already out of here. And Lexus King, yeah. Oh, he eliminated an LFG guy, and then the toothless LFG dude just eliminated Lexus King. And Ethan Page and Elijah are battling outside the ring, have not gotten inside yet. Shiloh Hill. That was who eliminated him. All right. There's a ton of bodies in the ring right now. I'm not going to get super into play-by-play right now until it starts to dwindle down a little bit, or if there's some big spots going on. But yeah, listen, this is going to sound a little cold, but it's business, because some of y'all, and I don't mean anybody in the chat, right? But some of us wrestling fans online, one, we'll pretend like we always loved these people who got released just now, and then we make jokes about catering while they're actually hired. And then on top of that, we then complain things like, man, Julia's ready for the main roster, or Stephanie Vaquer is ready for the main roster. Well, listen, you can't have both a deep roster and everybody used at the same time. You can't do both. If you do that, then you end up with AEW, who has people just wrestle matches without a lot of feuds, and weeks go by with you saying, where is this guy? Where is that guy? And that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, with Evolve and LFG, WWE has 5 shows now that they can put people on. Oh, swipe right. One of those dudes is out thanks to Inamura. Oh, Trick comes and deals with Inamura, puts him down. Ashanti trying to throw out Trick. Come on. Ashanti is playing the role of the Miz or the Honky Tonk Man, that kind of heel in the ring, where he's going to try to sneak his way into a couple of eliminations. Hate Survivor. He's got himself a little spot, but surely he's about to get tossed. Oh, Trick throws out Ashanti. He's gone. Shiloh Hill with the assist, by the way, too. He was holding the rope down. Yeah, so I feel Ashanti is the new JTG, man. He is the survivor of the nuclear fallout. He is sticking around. So it's a bummer, but some of these people, like I haven't missed. Shayna, I hope she gets a better opportunity somewhere else, but it seems like they really just intentionally missed the opportunity to replicate what she did in NXT on the main roster, and they were just never going to do it. So I don't know. There's a lot of reason for keeping her around. I'm kind of surprised Zoe Stark survived the cuts as well with her being cut. Caden and Katana, I mean, they were an actual women's tag team, but at the same time, like, other than a couple of those tag team reigns early on, title reigns, this isn't anything personal against them, but they didn't really have not a personality as women, but they didn't have a character other than party girls. And I mean, you got to have more than that in 2025 or stay in NXT. In my opinion. Swipe right's getting a beating, and out goes Swipe right too. Oh, we got Zach Wentz and Wes Lee facing off, but Tyson and Tyreek are putting that out. So anyway, Cora, it felt like, I don't know. I wonder, that's interesting you say this, Pretty Richie. They could have made a real star out of her and she didn't make sense. Also online, she's been the most vocal about teasing her basically doing a shoot interview at some point. So I feel like there was more to do with Cora's release than meets the eye. Which is a shame because it seems like CM Punk was like a mentor to her, and he's appeared to have had a much healthier attitude since he's come back. So, yeah, but basically she's been teasing shoot interviews and OnlyFans ever since she got released. But I wanted to see more from Gigi. I thought she never really got a fair shot. I was really enjoying the little side quest she did with Ariana Grace before she got hurt. And now, I hope she lands somewhere though where she gets a lot of time to work and a lot of shine. Yeah. Okay. All right, Tyson's out. Well, here comes Tyreek, but Inamura. So Briggs and Inamura handling Tyson and Tyreek. Man, TNA gonna pick Cora up quick. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Cora's still got a lot of upside. I think Cora and I think Jakara and maybe Dakota. I know she's had some injury histories, but I think any of them could be not the level of Drew McIntyre, but that kind of story where they could gain more equity and in their brand and be more desirable to come back. Because it seems like for some of these people that Hunter and whoever have at least tried to be like, hey, I didn't have much of a choice this time. Go get over. We will make room for you when you come back. Yeah, Firefighter Jimmy, by the way, welcome to the chat, man. It's good to see you. Glow is an option for these ladies as well, for sure. Whatever works for us, works for them. Thatcher's out. Yeah, that's an option as well. But at the end of the day, I really don't think there were any super egregious releases. Dakota 37. Wow. Good for her, man. Good for her because, yeah, she looks so young. Yeah, I don't know that there were any super egregious releases this time. And that doesn't mean, remember the culling, I think it was, forget who, but save Sean Spears from getting eliminated, got eliminated himself. Shiloh Hill from LFG is making a real showing, and I say that. Did he just get thrown out? Is Ridge Holland in this battle royal? Are you kidding me? I mean, of course he is. There's 25 guys, but I just now noticed he was in there. Ridge Holland better not win this thing. I know this. Justin's saying there aren't a lot of women that are from NXT Black and Gold. So I'm gonna there goes Shiloh. Eliminated by Trick Williams, who made quite a showing in this battle royal. He got a lot of attention. I think they're going to have plans for him in the future. I'm going to call shenanigans on this claim that there aren't a lot of women left from NXT Black and Gold. I think we have just forgotten who some of them are because they've become mainstays on the women's roster. Some women who, even though we haven't seen them in a while, off the top of my head, some of the women from Black and Gold that are still on the roster: Charlotte, Bailey, Asuka, Kyrie, Bianca, Rhea, Io, Raquel, Liv. I think Liv was started out in Black and Gold. Did I say Becky? Alexa, Nikki Cross. So there are a lot of women from NXT Black and Gold who are still with the company. A lot of them shining. Some of them have been missing for a while, but they're still with the company. So I don't think it's dying out. I think they have made some all-time. Yeah, Candace too. I did forget about Candace. And Nia. Nia was in Black and Gold as well. So yeah, it's Black and Gold still has a lot of legacy left in the business. Left on the main roster, rather. So yeah, don't buy into that if people are trying to tell you that the legacy of Black and Gold NXT is dying, because so many of the women have achieved such high heights. All right. I think it's time for them to start wrapping up this battle royal. Oh, yeah. A ton of men from Black and Gold as well. I mean, and a lot of those guys went to NXT. Oh, my goodness. What was that? Jensen basically eliminated himself. I don't know what he was going for. It looked like he was kind of going for like a top rope Oblivion move, but the dude he hit caught air too, and they both went tumbling. That was a strange spot. Tavion still in there, trying to hold on, but Briggs and Amora both going for it. Ridge Holland. Stupid Ridge Holland. Okay, he's getting a double dose of Briggs and Amora. So we're down to Briggs and Amora, Ridge Holland, Trick Williams, Zach Wentz, Wes Lee, what's his name? Miles Bourne, Sean Spears, Elijah, and one of the dudes from Evolve over in the corner who I don't know his name, and Ethan Page. Uh-oh. Inamura looks like he's about to charge, but his tag partner's right there. Oh, no. Inamura accidentally, or does he, eliminates Briggs. And now Ridge Holland attacks Inamura from behind. We're down to about 8 left. 9, sorry. 1, 2, 6, 7. Oh, and Javon. Javon's still in the ring, too. I don't think I said him before. T-Man's calling for Wes Lee or Trick to win this. I don't know about Trick. I'm still waiting to see if Joe Hendry shows up to ruin Trick's evening, since Trick did the same. Oh, man. Jumping knee takes out Javon Evans in midair from Elijah. There's 11 men in the ring. Sorry about that. Hard to keep count with all the bodies in the ring. Man, they keep teasing Wentz and Lee, but people keep messing around. 4 different skin the cats happening at the same time. And there goes Wentz. Wentz is out. Thanks to All Ego Ethan Page. They tried to do a 4-way skin the cat spot with Lee and Wentz and the Evolve dude and Javon Evans. So yeah, Inamura would be a fun win, Justin. That's for sure. I think people wouldn't see that coming, and he and Oba could actually steal the show. I don't think people see that matchup and think much, but I totally agree that it would. Yeah. So, releases are a part of corporate life. I mean, that's just it's just an unfortunate truth. And so I hate to see it happen, especially, because you hear stories of like how it gets communicated and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I am honestly with as many releases and waves of releases as we've seen, I'm very surprised that Ridge Holland has survived as long as he has. How many opportunities he's gotten? Because I don't want to be too hard on him. I think he's been solid, but he's never struck me as somebody who's gonna get to that next level. AEW's doing releases too, George. Huh? I don't keep up with them as much. Yeah. Firefighter, I'm sorry you were upset about it, man. It's I mean, it's not a happy occasion for sure, but you know, in this industry, it's just a part of life. It's just unfortunate. That's the hard thing about being a wrestling fan too, is that they can't make you be anybody's fan. Some of us just attach to certain performers and you hate to see them. Oh man, trick shot sends Wesley flying and he face plants on the announce table. Wesley is out. He is out of the battle royal. Firefighter, I can get behind that with GG and Corey and Braun. Braun, I'm not sure when we'll see again. You know, they could make a place for him in a spot like TNA, but someone in the chat said that he said he was retired after this, but I'm sure the dude needs some rest though. Pretty Richie calling for Ethan. Ethan could be a shock win as well, although he's a former NXT champion. So there's precedent for it. Although Ethan Page against Obafemi, they got to do something. Ricker T in the house. Hello, hello. Welcome, Rick, to the chat. We are winding down in our 25-man battle royal with Javon Evans, Ethan Page, Inamura, Miles Bourne, Trick Williams, Ridge Holland, Sean Spears, and a surprising entrant, Elijah, formerly Elias, from TNA. Man, Ridge and Inamura having a chop fest. Honestly, depending on how they book the rest of this battle royal, I wouldn't mind seeing Inamura win. I wouldn't mind that at all. Because like I said, Inamura got my attention, even though I've been watching him on NXT. He got my attention with a speed match he had with Ivar. And that tells me that if they let him and Obafemi just go, it could be fun. But I'm tired of them giving Ridge so much shine. Could they please eliminate him already? They're just doing the Big E special right now in the middle of the ring. Big meaty men slapping meat. No, Ridge. That was beautiful. Okay. Inamura followed him when he was running off the ropes. No! Trick Williams eliminates both Ridge and Inamura. Oh, man. Come on. Well, here comes Joe Hendry. We knew it was coming. Trick put his nose in Joe Hendry's business earlier tonight and cost him the 6-man tag against DARKSTATE. But is Trick coming to compete, or is he just coming to beef with Trick? Oh, and Elias / Elijah gets rid of Trick Williams. Goodbye, Trick. Good night. And here come all the guys to try to split them up. Sean Spears. Sean Spears has eliminated Elijah. Sean Spears trying to mock guitar playing, but he looks like he's doing something really inappropriate instead. Okay. Who is this kid from Evolve? And why is he still in the Battle Royal? All right. We've got Sean Spears, Javon Evans, Ethan Page, Ridge Holland, and dude from Evolve who I still don't know the name of. Goodness gracious, Javon can do some crazy stuff. Somebody please tell me the name of the Evolve guy. Come on, Javon. He's dressed like narcissist era Lex Luger, too, this guy. Oh! Super kick. Legacy? Is his name Legacy? That's a little on the nose, don't you think? Oh, RKO. from Javon, bouncing off the ropes, and the old Trouble in Paradise. Ethan Page, thank you, holding the rope down. Legacy, whatever his first name is, has been eliminated. I'm not a big fan of like a guy just goes over because you tell Sean Legacy, thank you. Telling me he's good. You're like he's good because you're telling me he's good. I don't like to see that. All right, Sean Spears, Miles Bourne, Ethan Page, and Javon Evans. Man, where is Three Diglets? He's not going to believe that Miles Bourne made the Final Four. I could tell him over and over again, and he probably won't hear me. Sorry, that wasn't very funny. All right, here we go. Oh, wow, great spot. Somersault over the top rope into the ring by Javon Evans, right into a Randy Orton power slam by Miles Bourne, who gave one to Spears too. But now here comes Ethan Page to ruin the party. Reverse the, okay, belly over the top, belly to belly. Okay, kip up by Miles Bourne. Fans are here for Miles Bourne. I know it's crazy. I kind of want to see Miles Bourne do this. I say this and they're probably going to dump him right away. The crowd is chanting Baby Randy. They were chanting Baby Randy at Miles Bourne. Yeah, he moves like Randy and he looks like 2009 Randy, minus the sleeve tattoos. Oh, Spears over the top. Spears and Javon fighting on the apron. Ego on the apron too. Catches Javon. Oh, man. Javon is playing the Kofi role to perfection tonight. Has not touched the bottom. Has not touched the floor. Fighting for his life out here, Javon Evans. I always feel like a wrestler who does a lot of spots like that in a battle royal is never going to win because what if he screws up one of the spots? Sorry, everybody. Going for a reverse cutter. Oh, no. And he catches Miles Bourne by accident. But it's every man for himself, big boy. All right, he's going for a reverse cutter again. But they catch Javon, and he's about to be dumped. Javon is out. Oh, man, he takes an announce table bump on top of it. We are down to 3. Ethan Page, Sean Spears, and Miles Bourne. One of these guys is going to face Obafemi. Oh, the heels are turning on each other. Oh, man. And Miles Bourne wins. Just like that. Bourne wins. Are you kidding me? No Quarter Catch crew is getting a world title shot. Oh, man. Dempsey politely, very regal-like clapping on the outside. Tavion losing his mind. Ren Sinclair overjoyed. No Quarter Catch crew pulling a dub. I did not see that coming. I never would have predicted that. Man, I can't believe Diglets wasn't here. That was a great elimination spot. Yeah. It was a little, it was a little offbeat in the execution. But yeah, man, that was great stuff. And how about Tavion Prince, man? You could see him in the background. As soon as the bell rang, he booked it from the back. Came to embrace his brother. So Miles Bourne, get him a new render. That new render has hair. Obafemi versus Miles Bourne. I think that match is going to over-deliver, ladies and gentlemen. Oba versus Baby Randy is right. That is wild. So we get Randy this weekend, and then Baby Randy, and a couple of weeks from there. That's going to be a lot of fun. Wow. Jordan Grace backstage getting interviewed. He's coming to interview Izzy Dame. Wow. I did not know how tall Izzy was. I'm sure she's in heels, but still. Lash is here. The bougie bully. You know what I like about the women's division in particular is that they are setting up feuds in what ifs, basically. They're already setting up potential feuds for Jordan Grace if she wins the title. They're setting up potential feuds for Julia if she wins the title. They're already, Jada Parker's already trying to call her shot. And so they are already planting seeds for multiple people to be the next contender before we even get the title match. And that's something I think is a lost art in wrestling storytelling these days, is going ahead and making you wonder who's got next. Because sometimes I think they put all their eggs in the basket of the current build. You know what I mean? And so, Jada Parker missed her shot against Stephanie, but what if she has better luck against Julia or better luck against Jordan? So it could be one of those things. But anyway, I'm interested in seeing where that goes. So yeah. All right, everybody, let's chat. Fun fact of the night. So I want to talk to you guys real quick about wrestling video games, unless you have any other questions, because I picked up a couple of spots for the set this week. And I don't know how many wrestling video games you guys have played. However, and I don't know what I would say is the best wrestling video game, but I did get a couple of set decorations of some ones I had a lot of fun with. So A and B, and by the way, A and B combos, I know they popped in throughout the night. I don't know if they're still in the chat, but after the show tonight, about 30 minutes after showtime is over, no, an hour after showtime, I will be joining them for Backlash predictions. So we'll be doing our Backlash predictions show with A and B Combos Wrestling Edition on the Coalition together this evening, about an hour after showtime. But back in my childhood, one of the wrestling games that I had a lot of fun with was Monday Night Raw, or WWF Raw, for the Super Nintendo. A lot of fun in this game. A lot of people kind of dump on LJN as a game developer, which was owned by Acclaim, which is actually the same Acclaim that Jeff Jarrett, of all people, apparently is buying to resurrect. So I have high hopes that he would try to get some of these games resurrected or restored, because actually, in terms of game size, there's this game Raw, and then you can see behind me right here Royal Rumble, which was its predecessor. There was another game called Rage in the Cage or something like that was for Sega CD. There's a lot of fun. Anyway, and then WWF Super WrestleMania, which preceded Royal Rumble, and you could have a roster of 30 or 40 new generation, late stage Hulkamania or late stage Golden Era, early stage new generation wrestlers on there, which could be a lot of fun. And I always hoped that they would put together a remastered version, kind of like Ultimate Mortal Kombat, where you just have all the characters from all the games available in one game. Would be a lot of fun. And then also another box that I've got to decorate the set that I'll try to find a spot for back there or something somewhere, and is the N64 games. The pinnacle would be WWF No Mercy. Now, I was a big fan of WCW NWO Revenge, but the N64 era of games were so much fun. You had so much utilization and creativity for created characters that didn't exist before that time. And so many great wrestlers to choose from at that time. A lot of fun. And yeah, so good times. Sophie, I ain't losing nobody. Talking to old fans, I got more people watching right now than I did a few minutes ago. This is education time. It's a way for you got to learn where we've been to learn where we're going. No Mercy, a lot of fun though. I don't get into like modding or emulation or anything like that, but I will say there are people on YouTube who like mod those games to put current rosters in them and stuff, which is fun for a couple of minute watch on YouTube just to see like seeing Roman Reigns in that era. Oh, George, you had Super WrestleMania. So that was the only game I never owned from that era, which I wanted a lot because I didn't have any games from that generation that had Hogan or the Road Warriors in there. But yeah, so it is what it is. Turn back to babyface and you're in a better mood. Oh, man. Yeah. PS1 Raw's word. Hey, Miss Parker Chance. Boy, they love Jada. Jada, by the way, got baptized at her church the past few weeks. She posted it on her Instagram. So congratulations, Jada, for that decision. I wish nothing but the best for you in the future. Dang. Carmen just going full on earthquake splash on Jada. She's lucky Jada didn't do that. She might be dead. Okay. I got to wonder if she's getting a receipt for that. She landed kind of flush. Another kick in the face, man. Carmen working a little snug tonight. Oh, now she's going for a dive. Carmen gaining a lot of momentum in the opening match. She keeps touching her lip like she thinks her lip's busted or something. Blockbuster by Jada Parker, standing blockbuster. 2 count. Man, yeah, she put something behind that one. Oh, man. Stomach chop. Here we go. I'll tell you what, man. Jada's got a ton of swagger in that ring. Oh, man. Like a whipping fisherman suplex. That's crazy. Okay. Jada and Bianca are going to feed families in the future. Man, I'm telling you, and I'm not trying to keep everybody, I'm put this up here pretty rich. I ain't trying to keep all the ladies segregated on the roster, but between Bianca, Jada, and Naomi, if there's ever some sort of program with those 3 women, yeah, they'll be able to put something on together for sure. Naomi doing the best work of her career right now. Bianca, ever since she really found her voice, I think, found her place as a performer, she's been unshakable. And Jada is on the come up for sure. So we'll see what comes of this. Carmen fighting her way in this match, but I think eventually Jada's going to catch up with her. By the way, any own Lash too. Yeah, how dare I forget about Lash? She's just getting her own. She's just getting her bearings back now. Man, yeah. I mean, Rickard, you're not wrong. They're snug tonight, which makes me wonder, man. If Jada hits her finish, dude, I hope they're in a good mood when she goes for it. Carmen's not bad in the ring, but I have to be honest. Something about her just doesn't connect with me. She's not bad, and she's got a decent presentation. But once the match, hip check. That's it. That is it. Man, she took it. Oh, she's not done. She hit the breakout button. She's going to keep working on Carmen. Dropping suplex. High stepping. She going to hit her again? Oh, no. Thea Hale came in to try to save Carmen. And then Thea just took a hip check from Jada. Jada just tried to tell her, stay out of my business. And now Carmen's tending to Thea Hale. George, I don't know if I would say the match was weak, but I did think it was too competitive. I think Jada should have dominated that match. I don't know. It's nothing personal, but I don't know. I'm just not behind Carmen. And I didn't think that was a great usage of Thea Hale either, to be honest. So, I don't know. City shots right now of the Orlando area, or is that Tampa because they're talking St. Louis because they're talking about Backlash? I don't know. I don't know cities super well. All right. We got a commercial for Stephanie's Places. Indianapolis. Who is she meeting with? Oh, Pat McAfee. I ain't paying attention to that. I've been meaning to watch Stephanie's Places. I thought the Bloodline episode looked interesting. The Cody episode looked interesting. Actually, all the ones thus far. Not super interested in the McAfee episode. But is what it is. So, yeah. There's a lot of wrestling coming up in the coming weeks. So we've got Backlash this weekend. We've got Battleground coming up. We've got the NXT AAA Worlds Collide show coming up in June and Money in the Bank coming in June. So it is going to be a busy time to watch some wrestling. So, Justin, the tag team Parker had been hanging with, that was OTM, right? Or something like that. Backlash is forced isn't a bad word, Pretty Richie. But yeah, I mean, it's always been like this, like, I wouldn't call it necessary, but hold on. Joe Hendry talking to Ava. Battleground. Hey, Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams for the TNA title at Battleground. And we get a contract signing next week on NXT. So, will Battleground be the time? Will they actually pull the trigger? Will a WWE talent be TNA champion? Will they actually do that? We'll see what happens. But the way Trick Williams been acting, man, he just keeps making enemies. So we'll see what happens. If he can keep his nose out of people's business for long enough, maybe he'll acquire some gold. I know the level-headed fan in me never believes that one company is going to hold another company's belt for very long. I know Kenny Omega did that with the TNA title when he was with AEW. But also I don't see, I think Christian was the TNA champion when Omega won it anyways. So it wasn't like somebody like Joe Hendry that TNA is kind of built from the ground up, so to speak. So I don't think this would be the case where they do it either. But still exciting. Still could be an interesting match. And if they can make you believe, it'll be fun. So we'll see what happens. So Rich Swann, I think Rich Swann was gone. Oh, the TNA champion. It might have been. Oh no, yeah. Christian beat Kenny. Sorry, I knew Christian was involved somehow. But we can verify that. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, Rich Swann. So, and they did that in a title for title match. Boy, AEW was a different time back then. But oh man, yeah, I've not been keeping up with them as much. All right, well, how's everybody doing in the chat tonight? What matches are you? A couple of you have said, but what matches are you guys looking forward to the most for Backlash this weekend? What's your hype level for Cena and Orton? And yeah, tell me what match you might be looking forward to the most. We are having a good time tonight, just watching along with NXT as we do every single week. And of course, later this month, we will be live for Battleground as well. So, Pretty Richie, looking forward to Cena and Orton bringing you back to high school 0809. I got you, man. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, nostalgia is a powerful influencer for sure. If Cena wins, we riot. Okay, Justin Allen Crane saying Penta versus Dom for me. I'll say, and I think I might have said this before. We've talked a little bit about just the nature of Backlash being kind of rushed and rehashed a little bit. So I don't think there's anything that's super drawn my attention to like a peak fever pitch or anything. But I am interested in Penta and Dom as well, because I am waiting for them to pull the trigger on this Finn Balor thing with the Judgment Day. And every time there's a title match involved, I feel like we get just a little bit closer to that happening. But yeah, we will see what happens as we are approaching the last half hour of the show and what is likely to be our main event, which is Jordan Grace versus Julia. So we'll see what happens. The NXT Spotlight brought to you by Progressive. Who are we getting to look at? OTA. Someone just asked about OTM. Who used to hang with Jada Parker? Okay, OTM is coming back. We'll see what happens. Who is Wesley talking to on the phone? Every man's got a price. Why are they quoting the $1 Million Man? Are Briggs and Inamura breaking up? Because Inamura has been doing a running gag where he says he's going back to Japan every week. I don't like that. He better not be leaving for real. Anymore, I better not be leaving for real. I better not read a tweet tonight saying one of them got released either. Charlie Dempsey trying to pull the title shot. Oh, here comes Oba. Charlie Dempsey's going to die next week, so let's bring your flowers for the memorial service of Charlie Dempsey. Bro, yes. Miles Bourne has got something to it. He's self-aware. They don't make a joke out of his hearing impairment too much. It's more like a wink to it than a full-on, like, they don't treat him like Eugene or anything like that, you know? Yeah. There's a somewhat subtle but recognizable charisma in Miles Bourne. I like that a lot. So wow, yeah, who would have thought? Tell you, man, when I started streaming this year, I mean, I watched NXT off and on a little bit going into it, but if you had told me that Hank and Tank and Miles Bourne would be some of my most improves, I would have known what to tell you. But this is wild. So Julia's making her entrance, and we'll have Jordan Grace in soon as well. So we'll see what comes of this. Now, yeah, so we are working our way through. Curious what you so we got to take a look. So at Battleground, we're going to have ourselves quite a card that's still shaping up. So we're going to have Obafemi versus Miles Bourne. We're going to have Trick Williams versus Joe Hendry for the TNA title. And Stephanie Vaquer, I believe, versus the winner of this next match. So let me see just if anything else has been announced. Yeah, so that's all we've got right now are those three matches for right now. So we'll see what happens. Now, yeah, so we'll have to have Ricky Saints defending his title because he beat Sean Spears for it, and he's already beaten Lexus King, and he already had a defense against Ethan Page. So he's kind of run through the ex-AEW guys at this point. So I'm curious who they might match him up with as well. And then Javon Evans probably going to have something to do as well. Javon Evans and Ricky Saints may not be a bad match. So, yeah. So Julia and Roxanne Perez will be facing Io Sky and Rhea Ripley on Raw next week. So I do wonder if that feud plays into Julia's title chances tonight. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. I wonder, how do you guys feel about Julia? Let me ask you guys, how do you guys feel about Julia's booking? Okay, because She came in, she won the title, but Stephanie followed soon after. Stephanie takes the title off her. There's rumors that maybe she was hurt, maybe not. She comes back, declares her contendership, wanting a rematch, but now she's playing around on the main roster too. And it's hard to tell if she's main roster bound sooner rather than later at this point, now that she's been teaming up with Roxanne Perez. So, and yet they're still treating her like a title threat on NXT. I'm very confused by Julia's booking. And it's not that I don't like her. I like her a lot. I just kind of wish it was like what they were doing with Pete Dunne last year. He was just getting in enough people's business on every show that he ended up not being a real threat to anybody. And I'm just kind of like, just pick a spot for her to plant her somewhere. Either plant her on Raw or plant her on NXT and let her be a major player in either of those places. I would prefer it to be that way. And don't tell me that they had a shortage of women, because they just released a bunch of them. There's a little bit of that in Ethan Page too. Yeah. George, you mentioned, Finn Balor talking to Roxanne Perez on Raw. What does that tell you? I know I don't love this idea. I don't know. I was surprised when I saw that, because what I was really hoping for was Roxanne or anybody else like being kind of the new Judgment Day member and getting rid of Finn and letting Finn go on about something else. Chase University ad though. New Chase U swag. Come on. Here's the thing. If they introduce new Chase U merch, they should sell new Chase U merch. That is one of the easiest merch ideas they have. Okay, that is actually modern. The zip up. It's a little snug, but see, this is a good idea. Is it taking him this long to do a wardrobe change? What are we doing? Tracksuit. Chase U tracksuit. Come on. Come on, Andre. Yes. Chase U tracksuit. Stroke of genius. Come on. Now put that on Fanatics. I'm not going to buy it, but they should. They should put it up. Okay, so we get a contract signing between Joe Hendry and Trick Williams next week. We get Tony D'Angelo and Wes Lee next week. And so NXT always building the next show ahead of them. And Julia's still finishing up her entrance before we get Jordan Grace, Big Mama Pump, entering in for our main event. Start dropping your picks right now. Julia or Jordan Grace, who do you think goes on to face Stephanie Vaquer at Battleground? Justin says, I think Finn should talk to Julia after he talks to Roxy. That would be a lot of fun. All three of them together. Now that's something different. Pretty Rich says, I love Chase U with all my heart, but this has never seen the light of the day in the main roster. Or if it does, it's going to be a blunder. Richie, you know ball, my friend. So this is 100% the Chase U does not need to be on the main roster for any reason. This is an NXT specific gimmick. It works for NXT. It is a frat house. NXT, especially this version of NXT, is very much like a frat house in and of itself. And so having Chase University. Man, okay, these ladies go right at it as soon as the bell rings. Anyway, Richie, you're dead on. 100% agree. Great comment. George and Jimmy are saying Jordan, as is Pretty Richie, and Justin is calling for Julia. I'm going to lean Jordan as well. I think Julia is too tied up with main roster feuds right now, and I think Jordan is going to sneak it out. Goodness, Jordan throwing him hard. Man, these girls are here to fight. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Julia just got dropped on her head. She must be okay. Props to my childhood friend, NXT ref, DA Brewer, immediately going to Julia after that drop. Oh wow. A draining suplex, stalling suplex into a big ending. Well, the way she's slapping her head, I think she's selling, but goodness gracious. Man. Do I think Roxy will get involved in this match? I don't think so. I don't. As much as they have, geez. That was just such a rough bump. Shout out to Julia, man. She's so tough. You got to have a tough neck for that. Yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, they keep attacking that part of Jordan keeps attacking that part of the body, so I guess she's okay. But man, that was just such a brutal drop. It wouldn't make sense for me for Roxy to help Julia get a world title shot. I understand them working together as a team on Raw, but like that just doesn't seem like the kind of thing Roxy would do. I mean, from what she's shown us, doesn't mean it won't happen, but that's just how I feel about it. Stephanie Vaquer become very popular in WWE. Absolutely. Big ovation for her at the Raw after Mania. And yeah, man, she's done amazing stuff. I would be remiss if I didn't quote our weekly mantra here from Justin Allen Crane. Wrestling is life and wrestling is hated, but also wrestling is forever loved. Thank you, Justin. And it seems like Julia's okay. I mean, she's moving around fine, and the ref has not intervened any further. Oh my gosh. I think that drop kick was a little bit of a receipt, maybe. I don't know. Or it could have just been snug for the sake of snug, because a lot of the ladies have been doing that tonight. One thing I like about this match is in the pacing, it looks like they're losing a step or they're moving too slow. And when they commit to offense, when it seems like they're moving slow, their moves get countered or reversed, which makes logical sense. And so I appreciate that. You can move at half speed if your moves aren't hitting, which I think is great. I will say, even though both of these women are wildly talented, one-on-one, I'm not exactly feeling oh my gosh. What a landing by Jordan Grace. Goodness gracious. I was just about to say I didn't think these two ladies had a lot of chemistry together. But that sequence was nasty. So I think they just want to beat the crap out of each other, to be honest. Which is, hey, that's a way thing to do it. Right. Exactly. I think it's hard because Julia specifically, between her and Jordan, Julia specifically, I think it's important for her to be a chemistry wrestler. I think she can move a lot. She moves a lot faster, I think, when she feels chemistry with a performer. You see her with Stephanie or, with an EO or somebody like that. Whereas Jordan is always kind of a methodical, she's a powerhouse. So she doesn't have to move fast and doesn't all that much. But you can kind of see this styles matchup affecting Julia more than Jordan. And Julia's not wrestling a bad match. It just seems like she is wrestling out of her element. Justin, is Hank and Tank going to be at NXT Battleground? I'm almost 100% sure they will be. They just don't have a match yet. So we've only got 3 matches. Usually we have 5 or 6 on an NXT PLE. Sometimes 7. And we've only got 3 so far. And so I feel confident that nearly every title, at least every belt title, will be on the line. So we're going to be looking at the winner of this match will take on Stephanie Vaquer, Miles Bourne taking on Obafemi. Hank and Tank would defend the tag titles. Ricky Saints probably have a title defense. And I'm imagining Sol Ruka is going to have a title defense as well. I'm very interested in Sol Ruka's defense because nice little slower pace, devastating maneuvers, as the old man would say back in the day. I think Sol Ruka's competitor pool might be one of the widest that there is. Ricky Saints, I don't have a clue who they'll bring in. We did just kind of mention Javon casually. He might be a good option. Also, I think, and I hate to say it, but Hank and Tank lost that 6-man tag to DARKSTATE tonight. They may have to face DARKSTATE in a title shot. They might have that. So we'll see what happens. I suppose there's a chance that Sol Ruka doesn't defend or Ricky Saints doesn't defend because Joe Hendry's defending the TNA title against Trick Williams. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm curious what happens next. Oh my. They're picking up the speed some. Oh man, Jordan Grace delivers a great spine buster. I give her all the credit, but reversed now into a guillotine, and there's nowhere for Jordan to go. Okay. Headbutts. Uh-oh. Reversal. Northern Lights suplex from Jordan Grace onto Julia, and they're both trying to make their way back up to their feet, but Julia's screaming. She is selling loud tonight. Rich says, I don't know what it is, but I haven't latched onto Stephanie or Julia yet. Maybe it's because I didn't see a lot of them before WWE. I saw Steph once on AEW. I was, 100% the same. I started seeing more of Stephanie Vaquer than I have of Julia in the build-up to their title for title match. And, Stephanie her charisma just jumps off the screen, and people have gotten into her so fast. And crowds have attached to her so quickly, and they do love Julia as well. But there's something about Julia, and it's not like a negative to her, right? But like for me, when I see her, like the first time I ever saw her come to the ring, I think she faced Chelsea Green, somebody like that. When I see her, I think about my first thought was, like Asuka. And there is just, oh my gosh, what a spike driver by Jordan, and she only gets 2. Man, pray for Julia's head, dude. She's taking a beating to the head tonight. There is a level, there's like a gear of aggression that Julia hasn't displayed on NXT that Asuka has in spades. And it makes me feel like we are getting a less aggressive version of Asuka. And I don't think that's a completely fair thing to say about Julia, because I understand she has an international reputation, and she's probably proven that she is meaner than that in the ring when she's allowed to be. And so I'm not so sure. But nevertheless, I had my criticisms. Oh my gosh, we're getting a stalling superplex. Y'all pray for Julia's head. Oh my gosh. And she's back up with her again into a jackhammer. Only 2. Goodness gracious. Their chemistry keeps getting better as the match goes on. That's what I was going to say. This match keeps getting better as it goes on. It started off a little slow. They started out feeling a little incompatible to each other. Big Julia chance. I think it's so weird that Julia's a heel on Raw, and she is getting babyface chance just for surviving in this match. But honestly, she's wrestling like a babyface on this show too. That's what I mean about, oh my gosh, swinging DDT out of a suplex. Oh, driver of her own. Just 2. Julia's wrestling this match like a babyface, and she's getting cheered for it. And she wrestles like a heel on Raw, and like it's just, I don't know. Women's wrestling chance. Oh, are we getting an octopus stretch? But Jordan's too strong. Lifts her right out. Now over shoulder reversal. Tombstone. Tombstone coming up. Oh my gosh. It's like a tombstone toss. It's like an Alabama slam from a tombstone position. Now we're just strong styling it. Just hitting each other. Oh, another. Oh my gosh. 2. That's that. Jordan Grace has done it. Just like that. Hits the finish. Just as the crowd was starting to get hot, too. So we get Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordan Grace at Battleground. That's going to be a fun match. This is going to be hard. Listen, if this match happened in a vacuum, that's great. And I don't know how many people watch NXT that also watch Raw, but she just wrestled a heck of a match. And like, if I'm a fan who watches multiple WWE shows, which I am, I'm going to want to cheer for Julia when I see her on Raw again. But they've got her attacking Io, who I also love. So I'm not into that. But this was a great match. This was a great match, a worthy main event. Crowd has come alive because La Primera is here. She's here to face her challenger. All right, come to the ring. Raise the belt in the air. All right, so we've got Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordan Grace coming up at Battlegrounds. Leave your ratings in the comments, and we will go through them. Solid show tonight. Solid show. NXT does what it does best, which is showcase main event talent and brings up, up and coming talent, and they do great stuff there. So great stuff all around. All right, let's get into it. George, is giving it an 8.5. Justin Allen Crane saying 10 out of 10, and that is just to yeet. Anthony giving it an 8 out of 10. T-Man giving it a solid 8. I'm tending to agree with the crowd tonight. I think this is a solid 8 show, and that's not a criticism. I think that Battle Royal started out slow, but picked up towards the end, gave us a surprise winner of Miles Bourne. So it's going to be interesting to see what we get out of that. We're going to get Joe Hendry and Trick Williams on WWE television for the TNA title, which is going to be a lot of fun as well. Obafemi going to take on Charlie Dempsey next week as well. We now have our women's title match set with Jordan Grace and Stephanie Vaquer. So one-on-one. So we're moving towards Battleground in May here at the end of this month, and it's going to be another solid card. I can feel it. So thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm going to start wrapping things up real quick. I know sometimes we debrief a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this here while I'm there. Just remember to support the channel. You can do that below as we're climbing to super chat status. Subscribers are growing all the time, which we're super thankful for. It's amazing. We're still working on our watch hours as well. Hopefully we can get those up, and then we can start crowning a super chat champion pretty soon, which I'm very excited to have here on the show, on the channel. So we looking forward to seeing you guys soon. Give us about an hour and then hop on over to A&B Combos for Backlash Talk predictions. I'm going to go drink some water and rest my throat for a little bit so I can come and give my opinions on those as well, as we're headed towards a very rapidly approaching WWE show with some interesting connotations for the future. Love you guys so much. Thank you again for being a part of this community. You guys are the best. And at the end of the day, we have to say this before we leave. Oh, don't forget to be a mark, and don't let anybody call you a mark like it's some kind of weird derisive term. First of all, anybody using that word is a mark, because you can't be a wrestling fan without being a mark. And being a mark doesn't have to be a bad thing. It just means you believe, and we like to believe here because it makes wrestling better. So don't stop believing, guys. Yes, I made a Journey reference. Sorry. But I will see you guys at the Backlash predictions in about an hour. And until then, grab something to eat, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, guys. See you next time.